Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and it's time for one of my personal favourite decks this season. It's going to be Vespiquen Yveltal Crobat. And why are we looking at this again for Worlds? Well, really it's one of these things where we believe that the Night March deck is so powerful, so polarising, that the metagame is really narrowed, and this deck is perfect for a narrow format because it tries to beat just one or two decks. If it can't, I mean, it does that very effectively, but anything sort of outside of that range, it does a lot worse. So, really, we have answers to Night March in here, plenty of them. We also have answers to seismitoad-based decks. An answer here or there for Trevenant. It's not the best deck in the world against Trevenant, for sure, but it does have certain lines of play that it can go for to try and win that matchup. So, with the format this narrow, it really does favour a deck like this. This is very much an anti-meta deck, and if the right meta turns up, then this deck could be a great pick for Worlds. So let's jump into the deck. First of all, we are having 3 non-EX Yveltal with the Oblivion Wing. Fantastic for a number of reasons in this deck. Firstly, it's going to give us a way of staying in the game against Night March. Every turn we want to announce Oblivion Wing against Night March because it buys us a KO on a Night March Pokemon, which is great for us. Because we are also playing a Fright Knight, we don't have to worry about Fury Belts a lot of the time. We can just get that damage in, then promote the Fright Knight later down the line, and hope that gets the knockout then. So pretty much every turn we're guaranteeing a knockout on Night March one way or another, and at the same time we get a nice bit of acceleration, so that we're less concerned about just having 4 double Colorless that you can see over here. It means that we also have the backup Energy Excel of this guy. And in the early turns, it's a decent amount of HP to get over. It's a big chunk, so against other Stage 1 type decks, he's a good lead for us. So that's also good to know. The Fright Knight I mentioned, it's going to be useful against Night March, where we can either Oblivion Wing and then later down the line bring up the Fright Knight to get our KOs, or we can even Sky Return into Fright Knight to knock out stuff like Joltik. So those are plays that we can go for. Pretty cool. He is able to attack as well, of course. Pitchback Spear doing the 60-60 snipes on 2 EX or 1 EX or 1 Pokemon in the active and 1 EX on the bench. It can set up a few things, lower down some HPs of like Megas or high HP things that this deck isn't amazing at dealing with. We do have 27 Pokemon. It's not the highest count I've ever gone for, but it should be enough to get over some EX Pokemon. If we are worried about stuff like Megas, we can try and set up Pitchback Spear beforehand and then lower the HP that way so that the Vespiquen can come in and swing. Additionally, it can put some pressure on Shaymin EXs, so matchups where they're not great at dealing 130 damage in a turn, these sorts of 2-hit KO style wars, the Fright Knight can be a great option for us to attack with. Oftentimes he's just used as a pivot thing, you just throw him up there to deny tools for a turn. We do of course have the Xerosic in the deck as well, so we have a couple of ways that we can negate fighting Fury Belt, which is otherwise a big pain for this deck. So next up, the 4/4 Vespiquen. It's really the main attacker, but oftentimes you don't really see it show up until turns like 4-5 because we need a few turns to build up our damage in the discard pile. The Be Revenge does 20 plus 10 for each Pokemon in the discard pile. Very simple, very powerful. Our grass typing is great for the likes of Seismitoad EX and I guess Zygarde to an extent as well, if you're expecting any of that for Worlds. I don't think there'd be too many, but some people might have made a way to make it work. So pretty good stuff. The Free Retreat is fantastic, so it's a nice pivot. The Intelligence Gathering is also an option if we're really in a pinch. So Vespi still really good for, you know, a number of reasons. We saw a Vespiquen build win Nationals, so there's no reason why it can't win Worlds. There we go. So following on from that, for Unknown, the Farewell Letter just buys us a card. We essentially play a 56 card deck, but those also hit the discard pile to increase our output. Very simple stuff. 3 Shaymin EX to help us draw, and, you know, again, pretty simple basic things. And it's the bats down here which really pushes our Night March matchup into pretty favourable, and there's very few decks out there that can say that they have a favourable Night March, so this is in a bit of an exclusive club, and it's all thanks to the bats. We're going to go for Oblivion Wings every turn, keep up with them 1-for-1, at the same time we're putting Zubats onto our bench, evolving up into Golbats and threatening Crobats, so pretty much every turn your opponent has to hex you from turn like 2-3 onwards. If they can't do that, we drop our bats, we start getting knockouts. It's pretty much that simple. It's how we're going to try and win our games. Against other things, it again can be extra damage for us. If we lead with Zubat, it's not amazing, but it means we can, if he's not knocked out, evolve into Golbat that turn, and he becomes a free retreater for us. A lot of the time, in a matchup that's not Night March, the bats go into the bin. They go to the discard pile, and we just go aggro Vespi. It's pretty much how it is, but against the Night March exclusively, these bats just come up so well for us. And against other like stage 1s, against other Vespi builds, or against like Quad Zoroark, these bats are also really annoying. Because they can deal with lower HP basic Pokemon at the time. So really, really cool 3-3-2 line that we have in here. I believe it's thick enough because pretty much everything else is as streamlined as it can be, so I couldn't fit any more bats in, basically. I think that's probably the correct count. So onto the trainers. We're playing one Escape Rope. I think it's good to have, you know, this and AZ is pretty much enough switching because we have a lot of free retreat in here. We have Vespi, we have the higher lines of the bats. But sometimes we need to move out of Fright Knight if it's stuck in the active. Sometimes we have to just throw Fright Knight into the active just to get his effect off, and then either we rope or AZ out of there because he is chunky. It would be horrible to attach a DCE to move him. You just don't want to do that. It's kind of why it's a rope rather than a floatstone as well, because this is the thing that gets stuck, and floatstone is obviously useless. But again, it's going to be a nice pivot. I thought about having Hawlucha in this list instead of Escape Rope. It gives you a slightly better matchup against Trevenant. This is the new Hawlucha, which I should have mentioned. By the way, Steam Siege is out, which is great. So this was debated over the one Escape Rope that we're playing. It gives you a slightly better Trev, because just if you happen to have it in hand, you can gust a Trev out the way and bring up like a Phantom for a Shaymin if it's turn like 1 or 2. But it's so niche that we just thought Escape Rope's better because we need an extra actual switch card. So that's what we've gone for in here. I think it's better than just a regular switch as well, because we have so many nice free retreat pivots that we can always switch into whatever we need to again, and at the same time we're disrupting the opponent a bit more. We are playing one Super Rod to recycle. I know it's sort of counterintuitive that you're putting Pokemon back in when you're trying to do high output with just the discard pile, but sometimes just 4-4 Vespi isn't enough. We need to recycle these pieces. Also, recycling energy here or there can be nice. And against Night March, you can recycle Shaymins so that they can't be target whistled, which is also pretty cool. 4 counts of Compressor, Ultra Ball, VS Seeker. These are all pretty standard. Compressor's going to get rid of all of our janky Pokemon, so the deck is a bit more streamlined. So much better for us. The quicker we find these, the better, really. The deck is pretty janky, full of Pokemon until that point. Ultra Ball, again, is just going to thin and get our Pokemon out. VS Seeker obviously combos with Compressor to give us a bit more consistency, which is cool. And here are all the 1-ofs. 1AZ, so that we can, again, it's a switching card. It can pick up bats for reuse, and it can pick up Shaymin, so it's off the board, or again, for reuse. Hex Maniac is going to help us out against the likes of Metal decks. It can help us get over Aegislash EXs. It can help us against Valplume decks. It can help us so many situations, like Greninja should be a good matchup because of our typing in the first place, but sometimes when their breaks are out, you still need to Hex a couple of times until they are all wiped out with B-Revenge. Just the one Lysandre, and it really pains me that we're only playing one Lysandre in here, but I just don't have space, damn it. I'd love to have more Lysandre. I really think that a 2 count for Worlds is probably correct. I've not managed to squeak a space in just yet. It's still going to be my mission. I think if you're really feeling 2 Lysandres correct, you could go down to 3 unknown, because these are basically floating slots, but every Pokemon you take out is, 10 less reach that we can go for. And I feel like 27 is probably the correct count, so I'm really having a headache at 1 Lysandre. It's pretty clutch. The one thing we have to bear in mind is it's not our win condition against Night March. Our win condition against Night March is the bats, right? So we don't need to Lysandre Shaymins. We can win our prize trade in other ways. So I think 1 we get away with quite often. The main reason I'm concerned is because we don't have Town Map in here, so there'll be those games when Lysandre was prized and you lost because it was prized, so kind of really want 2. At the moment, I'm only showing off the 1, but this would be... If there's any change I want to make to this list, I want 2 Lysandre, pretty plain and simple. 1 N in here, it's going to be a nice equalizer in so many matchups. This deck just gets better and better and better the later in the game it goes, because B-Revenge becomes absurd and it just deals with anything in front of you. So if you can just attach DC N, you can knock out the thing in front of you and force them to set up something to deal with the Vespi. If they don't, you're going to charge ahead and take 2, 3, 4 more prizes just by announcing the attack over and over. 1 Xerosic. Again, it's going to be good for getting rid of tools. Fighting Fury Belt is everywhere. It's annoying for Vespiquen to get over these high HP EXs, so we lower them a little bit, which is good. Additionally, to a certain extent, you can stop the tools of Garbodor. I mean, in Garbo-focused decks, we don't really rely on the bats. We just kill them anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. But in general, this gives us good outs. It's mainly the Fury Belt thing that we need to deal with. One teammates as well, going to be really handy for grabbing DCEs and follow-up attackers every turn. It's just a really clutch card. We've seen it in Night March, it's no different here. It's just so good for finding the specific pieces that we need. And the Professor Sycamore, just the consistency. The dumping of so many Pokemon is also great for us. Even to an extent, dumping Dark Energy is fine. So, pretty good all around. Finally, for Energy, we're just playing 9. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom down, but there are 5 Dark in the deck. And for double Colorless Energy, I believe 9 is probably the correct count. It's kind of low when you're under item lock, and you actually need to find Dark Energy to keep attaching to deal with Trevenant. That's somewhat of a concern. But beyond that, I think it's fine. Again, I would much sooner put a second Lysandre in than an extra energy to deal with the likes of Trev. So there we go. I'm pretty content with the 9 count. Obviously, pretty much the focus is double Colorless, but these Dark Energies sort of supplement us, give us a bit of acceleration against Night March so that we have a nice chain of attackers. So that is the list. The idea is to have a good Night March matchup, which should win you a bunch of games just straight off the bat. And then from there, we're trying to have the good typing for Greninja players, for Seismitoad EX players. To an extent, the Dark typing gives us an out to Trevenant. So really, it's got fairly stable matchups around the board. So it could be a decent pick for Worlds. And hopefully we get into a game and demonstrate that very shortly. Oh, I've been rambling for a while. Here we go. We found a game. Ector 29 playing just a psychic deck. Just psychic stuff. We'll see what it's going to be. If it's Wobbats, I'm pretty sad. This deck is fairly reliant on abilities from Shaymin EX because of the clunk of the deck. So we are going to mulligan once. How many basics do we play? 3, 6, 10, 14, I think. I think it's 14. So, shouldn't mulligan too much, but we've just gone and done it. Could have been a decent hand if that one Sycamore was something else. Okie dokie. We start with Fright Knight, which isn't ideal, but it's pretty fine. Just for being a wall in the active position. If he leads with something unfavourable, it could be good for us, so it's more awkward for him to move it. So we'll have to wait and see here. We are rocking the cool Charizard sleeves. And it's an Alakazam. That is pretty awkward. It's not a great matchup for us. Zam, Wobbuffet, Alakazam. Interesting. Fright Knight actually is great in this situation. Oh my god, Fright Knight's absurd in this situation. We've got a great matchup now. I only just realised how good this is for the matchup. He had to Birch. He's playing Birch. Interesting. Got a Tails. Sad times. Gengar Wob Zam. Robo Wob Gengar Zam. I'm just trolling. Let's see. Ooh, just a trainer's mail. Does he get anything? Is the question. Just a bursting balloon. We're looking pretty good, lads. Does he attach it? Does he attach it? There's no need to attach it. He passes. Okay. Let's start getting rid of some things and drawing some cards. The bats are actually quite good in this matchup, I would imagine, because of our typing and our annoying HP. We'll grab Shaymin EX while we can, because Wobbuffet is thankfully on the bench, and because we also have AZ. Fright Knight is definitely the thing that we want in the active, so we can't Zam spam. So we will go for that. The Combee can be benched. I don't think the Yveltal will be. I will... 1, 2, 3, 4... I think I'll just Shaymin for 2 first. There's a debate to putting this down just for a card. What more do we need this turn? We've got the DC for next turn, so fairly content to just do this. We get a Golbat and a DC is awkward. Okay. We'll see what we can letter. Zubat would be the ideal, I think. Or an Ultra Ball. Another unknown is fine. It's just a +10 damage. Ooh, Lysandre's not bad either. No need to VS anything just yet. So we'll pass. We have played into Suppression, so that's a way he can get some damage on, but that's it so far. If his turn is just Suppression, I'm not too upset. Let's see what else he can come up with here. Fun fact, I had to deal with a Gengar Wobbuffet when I played this deck at London Regionals way back when I won the tournament. It was a top 8 game against Wobbuffet Mega Gengar. So, weirdly enough, I know this matchup. Never played it with Alakazams, but still. Just a suppression, so I'm pretty happy. Really happy, actually. I think I'm doing this even. Yep. We're doing that. Don't really need to bench it right now. We'll hold. I'm actually going to bench this now. Maybe I should have done that for a card earlier, but I think it's fine to actually do it now. So we do 120 to the Gengar. Really set it up nicely. So basically, whenever, even if he moves this, it's in threat of a KO. So we're in pretty good spot here. The one Fright Knight. Oh, the one Fright Knight just won us the entire game. Hooray for Fright Knight. Love that card. Okay, let's get another game in, I guess. We led Fright Knight. That's jokes. 1 in 14. Oh, man, feels good. If he had Wobbuffet active as well, it doesn't even shut off Fright... I mean, he shuts off Fright Knight, so it wasn't even a problem for him. It's only a problem because he couldn't move Gengar. But that's hilarious. So, we have another game. We will flip the coin. Unfortunately, we do not get it. So, let's see. Oh, best starter. This is a quality hand. Oh, man. I rip on this deck for being janky, but this is pretty quality. Ooh, a Carbink. Zygarde deck? Zygarde deck? Let's find out. We see a Karina off the bat. Could be a Steelix. Oh, please be a Mega Steelix. That would be so cool. I hope it's Mega Steelix. Oh, Groudon. We don't mind Groudon. Too much. Oh, where's Fright Knight when we need it? Just kidding. Fright Knight's actually absurdly good in this matchup. We'll find Fright Knight soon. Trust me. Oh wow, it's a Groudon that actually plays Shaymin EXs. That's pretty rare. I mean, even playing that is pretty rare. Playing the Spirit Link. This is not your average Groudon, I'll tell you that. I think it makes more sense if you're playing Carbink to play the Spirit Link, because you need to attack to end your turn, rather than just end your turn. So... we're going to get rid of these and just Sycamore away. Do I want to grab more cards or some bats? Only one Zubat. That's awkward for us. Could even just grab Fright Knight because that's pretty good. Yeah, yeah. We're going to get plenty of cards. We've got ourselves 8 cards already. Okay, we can start thinning out our bat pieces that aren't going to be too useful. because we've only got the solitary zubat. I guess I keep the Crobat. We hit for weakness already. This should be a pretty easy matchup for us. Hit for weakness on Groudon. We have bats to stop any whatchamacallit shenanigans. Focus Sash, that's what I was thinking of. Not that he's played them just yet. Ooh, DC is tempting. But we can attack this turn, so we'll... Okay, so if I set up here, I can AZ next turn. Okay, we'll do that. Do I need to draw this turn? No, we can get more next turn. We'll pass. Slow but very steady. As long as we don't get end, I'm pretty happy with this hand. It's the only thing it's weak to. But because we just attach past, he's probably not likely to end, unless he has to. So we see an attachment, then comes the Mega. He needs to get some more energy in the discard pile. Oh, what? He really ended me. So annoying. He had the perfect answers. I'm sad. Okay, I mean, this is still a fine hand. Wait, what? Your Primal Groudon? No one's taking your energy anyway. Oh man, what's going on here? What is this list? 2 Shaymin EX in a Groudon deck. New meta game, boys. This should be a pretty easy walk in the park, I would imagine. Are we getting rid of our last Crobat? Golbat, I mean, we have Super On anyway. It's not big of a deal. I think I could actually find this, or I could just grab Combee, or I could keep the slot open. I guess because we have Unknown anyway, we can just grab this. Because AZ DC is still a pretty strong turn. Farewell. Another compressor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 180. I mean, fine, we'll do this. We'll overcommit and then we'll put some stuff back in with our Super Rod. Like you, and like you, because you're in the hand. Yep. And we'll end. Slow and steady, but we're looking pretty fine. Ooh, we can't compress any more Dark Energy, can we? Maybe if there's one in the deck. That would be pretty ideal. We can also get rid of our useless Xerosic, our useless Sycamore, and our Dark Energy. I mean, Sycamore, what was I saying? Lysandre. It's actually not useless because we can still get like Shaymins and stuff, but we'll prod with Oblivion Wing and start setting up Pitch Black Spear again on the bench. I know we have the Vespiquen anyway, but we kind of want to just do some stuff. The DCs are fine for Vespiquen. We'll set this up in the background just to be swag. There's no need for us to be too aggressive because we'll keep 2 of these threats just on the bench. So he's forced to bring up Primal with this guy, and then we have 2 Vespiquen lying in wait. So he can't like Lysandre both, right? That's the mentality at least. Here's a Carbink going for the old diamond gift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 200. Not ideal. Okay, if I commit a double Colorless, I think I just basically passed the turn here. I mean, I could AZ, DC, feels wasteful. At the same time, it really does move this game along a bit. I think it's actually fine, you know. We stopped this Floatstone as well, so it's kind of frustrating for him. I'll keep this slot open in case I need Shaymin. And at the moment we are doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 180. 2, 4, 180. This gets knocked out. I mean, Ultra Balling now guarantees me a knockout on the Groudon if I don't snipe it. So I think I'll do that. Oh man, I shouldn't have got rid of the Vespi. Oops. We'll just grab this. So we put this to 50 for the knockout and then deal with the Shaymin. Or do I hold this for next turn? I can hold it. Because this is stuck active. Yeah, well... Oh no, it's not stuck active. He can pay retreat. Okay, we'll deal with it now. I mean, is it really worth setting up a Shaymin if he's just knocking this out in the first place? I guess it's not really our... This is just bait anyway. This is like force Groudon. That's basically what we're doing. Then we knock it out with Vespi and we just laugh. Because he can't leave this unchecked. We just win if he does. So let's see what he can do. Let's see how quickly he can build another Groudon. Ooh, Regirock. I really want some of those online. Unfortunately, they're untradeable. And I never picked any up when they were available. Which makes me pretty sad. Sycamore. He actually Sycamored away a fighting energy. Which is interesting. And grabbed himself a strong. Which is also interesting. Carbink break. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 to the 12 with a knockout is perfect numbers. So it's as if I planned this whole thing. We'll play this just to be a little bit more end proof. I should have discarded this and kept the Vespi, but still. 280, boys. I forgot about my initial damage. Oops. So I didn't even need to Ultra Ball. I guess it end proofed us. My bad though. I'm a little rusty with Vespi. Here's Regirock. Let's see what he can do. Zygarde. Fighting Stadium I'm not too concerned about. VS Seeker for N. Again, not overly concerned. Oh, he actually Float Stones Regirock. Don't think anything's threatened in terms of a knockout, so... Well, that's good. Energy to Carbink. Looks like he's just setting up Zygarde and hoping that I don't have the obvious Lysandre. Couldn't even find like a Sash, unfortunately. Oh, and the DCE. It's just bullying at this point. Okay, so I play around N by putting the DC on. Okay, he scoops. But I would have played into Xerosic. So, debates. Let's have debates. One more game? Sure, why not? I like this deck, it's fun. We just won ourselves a Manetrix, so... Feeling pretty good. It's a Friday. I'm pretty happy. Oh no, the secret's revealed if I actually upload this not on Friday. Okay, I'll have to upload it today then. Because I'm going on holiday in a bit, I had to do a backlog of videos. So, yeah, that's changed my schedule. This one comes up earlier. Cool. Me and my big mouth. Zubat in the active isn't great. This isn't a fantastic hand, but it's workable. Looks like we're up against Aqua Box, which is, you know, cool when you're a Vespi player. Oh, Sycamore makes this hand way better. Okay, so in this matchup, bats are useless. They can all go. How many pieces do we have? 4 and 3. Okay. There's actually a reason to keep Golbat over Crobat in case we want to, if we need to free retreat next turn if we don't get knocked out. Okay. Does that mean there's a bigger reason to get rid of Zubats? I think it does actually. Okay. So I think I might do this for a card, potentially attach the DCE to it just to protect it, and then Sycamore. Or we'll just magically top deck a Combee or an Ultra Ball. Or just another Dark Energy. Rip. Yeah, this is fine. Get the Lysandre in the discard pile early is good. Oh, Double Compressor is so good for us. One of the biggest weaknesses of this deck is when you just don't have the output early, but we are racking it up straight away. I think oh, we've got rid of quite a few energy. We can get rid of Fright Knight. I think we keep one Golbat. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're looking good. 10. I think I do use this before the Ultra Ball, because I don't want to get rid of everything in this hand. So any weak card is good here. I mean, it's not a weak card, but okay. I'm fine with this. Combee Town. Come on down to Combee Town. Oh, only one Combee. Sad times. Do I need to Vespiquen now? Because he's likely a seismitoad player. I think I shall. Don't think I want the Lysandre though. I think that's fine. That's a good like compromise. We'll see. Like, he's got to be pretty ballsy if he goes straight for the Toad line, because he just opens up the Combee Town. Unless he has Fury Belt Lysandre as well. There goes Lysandre. It's a lot to ask for, though, to have, like, Attachment Elixir, Retreat with Manaphy, E-Switch, Fury Belt, Lysandre, all without a draw supporter, like just from Shaymin's alone. We'll see if he can pull it off though. There's a Hooper. Three compressors on turn one. So good for us. Like a Night March would have been proud of that turn. And we're way jankier than that. Uh-oh, everything that I've said has come true. Oh no. Just no Lysandre, that's all I beg. Second. Plus. Only one Combee made me sad. But how sad is the real question. I mean, if he does knock out Combee, I just teammates for 2 more Combee and pass. Or I Sky Return into the Golbat, I think. Because that seems cool. Is my nightmare happening before my very eyes? Fury Belt vs Seeker. Don't do it, man. Don't be that guy. Don't ruin my dreams. I mean, I still think we're fine if he does it. I'm just saying it's a pretty absurd turn if he does get it. No Fury Belt, surely. Surely not. Why have I jinxed myself? Oh, okay. Stall. It's fine. It's actually a little bit worse. So it means we can't really commit this Vespiquen. I guess I can. We just don't commit the energy, right? We just do this. Should I Sycamore? I guess I should, even though Teammates is like so good for us. I think we can play this matchup slow. I think it's fine. Bring it on, Seismitoad. Do your worst. Like, if he just Lysandres and Grenade Hammers, that's kind of okay. He's commit more energy to this, which we'll definitely deal with. The Teammates guarantees me 2 Combee, so I think we're still fine. It's just if he gets more attackers down and starts elixiring like crazy. The only thing we fear is really Glaceon, right? We need to actually keep track of our Vespiquen count, if that's the case, because we only have 1 Lysandre, and we'd have to Lysandre around the Glaceon twice. But there's a lot of targets on his bench, like all 4. He can't AZ all of those up. I hope. So I'm not even that fearful of a Glaceon at this point. I'm not fearful of any attacker at the moment that's on his board. We see an attachment to the Shaymin EX, and a retreat to the Shaymin EX. And an energy switch. He's actually taking energy off his board by doing this. How dead is his hand? He's not even drawing that many cards because there's so much energy going back in. That was a really weird turn. Really weird turn. He's scared of Teammates, I think. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Come here, Seismitoad. Your time has come. I think I can actually just get rid of Teammates and Shaymin now. We'll just grab backup Combee in case he gets crazy elixir dot turn. Revenge of the Bees. Revenge of the Bee variety. Not bad. Not bad at all. So let's see what this Aqua Box player actually has to deal with us. I think it would have to be like Articuno at this point. Man, I was running away all those energy. Ah, he does play a Glaceon. So our final 2 VS Seekers have to be Lysandres. Have to be. Otherwise we lose. Delinquent? Are you serial right now? Oh, jeez. Do I keep the Sycamore or do I keep the... I think I keep the Sycamore, right? Yeah, we'll just keep Sycamore. He knows it's good because we got rid of a Shaymin. So he's like, oh man, he's still got something good. Delinquent is cool. It's a good way to... Like, it's an extra card against, like, Trevenant. I guess. 2 energy on Glaceon so far. If we can just get over this, 190. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we need our Crobat. Oh man. Oh, Ultra Ball. Lol. Okay. We will play this then. Oh, we don't have it. Okay. Less lolling. But we can compress these and still get it. Okay. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, cool. Kapow, kapow. What else can go? The Dark Energy is pretty dead. Is the Ultra Ball dead? Yeah, the Ultra Ball's dead. more dead than the other thing. Draw me a card and help me kill Hooper. Okay, do we commit this? I mean, some of them tech enhanced hammer, so I guess we don't. I could escape rope, I guess. I knock out everything if I rope, and it's one card better from N. So I guess we do. The only thing is it can be so good against the Glaceon. Okay, we'll just be revenge. Like, we win the game if we keep this hand next turn. So let's not get too crazy. So we're doing good work. You can see how close it is in terms of the Pokemon count, how close you have to be in terms of your output. If we didn't play that 27th Pokemon, oh, well, I know we prized a couple, but, you know, every Pokemon counts when you need to get the knockouts. But we'll see what the opponent can do. Really, they had to find Glaceon quicker, I think, to win this game. It'd be interesting to see if they play any Muscle Band as well. But we've played this fairly okay. We played it like slow, but always safe, I think. And that's important. The attachment and the rough seas comes into play. Vespiquen for N. Oh, delinquent. We have game in hand, even with delinquent, so good attempt, but you know, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, and the Vespiquen, it's just rude. It's just really rude at this point. But we did everything. We thinned our deck really nicely. So there we go. And it also justifies the escape rope that we play, even though we're not expecting that many Glaceons anymore because of Pokemon Ranger. But there we go. Vespiquen Yveltal Bat's just won a couple of games, so who knows if we could do it at Worlds. Let me know if you've even considered this deck for Worlds or not, and maybe after this video you are now. So if you did like this video, please leave a like and show us your appreciation. And subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Vespiquen Yveltal Bats has been a pet deck of mine all season, and whenever the format has been narrow enough, it's been one that I've loved to try out and play with. So if it's you know, if you're feeling Worlds is narrow enough to play a deck like this, maybe for day one where you can drop a game or two, but overall your matchups are pretty solid, then this seems, again, pretty solid. So leave your feedback down below, get involved in the discussion. But for now, it has been Joe from OmniPoke, and I will see you guys next time.